decided to orchestrate this affair?
Just volunteers cleaning up as usual.
Yeah, and they're all saying they've never caused anything. Sorry.
Misinformed people by social media, that's not held to account in the same way any other media is. One of the local residents decided to orchestrate this affair and is still defending what he did by saying this was a few bad actors. Every single person that came here was a bad actor in my opinion. Misinformed by social media. I do get why people are concerned, but if they really looked into it for more than 5 seconds of social media, they would understand this is the most cost-effective way of dealing with this situation, because I will not call it a problem. If they can think of a more cost-effective way of keeping people in purgatory whilst their claims were not being looked at all, I'd like to hear it. It's not their fault that their asylum claims have not been processed and they've not been able to be members of our community and have been kept in purgatory for £10 a week to live on, to pass the time. This is a lot to hear for my children. This, everything was, you could hear the anger, and I thought, right, we were planning to go out anyway, and then when we heard the smashing glass, we literally ran out of the house thinking, I'd rather come back to my house being burnt down than be in it whilst it's happening, as a lot of the people were voicing their opinions about the estate in general. These are nice houses, aren't they? Which at what point I thought, if you hate these people so much and you have a strong opinion about my nice house, I best get out of it.
But what made you decide to come down here this morning then?
It's the only thing I can do. I couldn't do anything yesterday. Felt helpless, felt scared, next to tears. Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Assistant Chief Constable Lindsay Butterfield of South Yorkshire Police. Following a day and night of violence and disorder in Rotherham yesterday, Sunday the 4th of August, focused on a hotel housing asylum seekers, I can confirm today we have seen at least 12 of our officers injured, with items such as bricks, fence posts, branches and other missiles thrown at them. Our police dogs suffered minor injuries after missiles were launched at them, and horses had bricks, eggs, bottles and beer cans thrown at their heads. They were spat at and threats made to cut the saddles in an attempt to injure the riders. So far we have had 6 arrests, 1 in Sheffield and 5 in Rotherham, with 1 person already charged and before the court this morning. Please be assured we expect this number to increase significantly over the coming days. It began yesterday around 11:30 a.m. when a group of 250 arrived in the Manvers area of Rotherham. A further group of around 500 people arrived shortly after, who we believe held far-right and anti-immigration views. At the same time, a large crowd began to gather in Sheffield city centre, diverting a number of force resources. It was at this point we began to see an escalation in violence in Wath. Hotel windows were smashed and there was a concerted effort to cause damage to the interior and serious harm to those inside. There was a particularly sickening moment when a wheelie bin was pushed against the hotel and set on fire, with the clear intent to cause serious harm to the residents and staff. It was known there were people residing and working in the hotel, but the mindless individuals responsible had absolutely no regard for their safety. It was ultimately a disgusting display of thuggery continuing well into the evening, with our policing operation only finishing around 5 a.m. I want to say a heartfelt thanks to all those involved from South Yorkshire Police and the many forces who provided us with mutual aid, our partners in the fire and ambulance service, and local partners for their continued support. I would also like to thank those who've already sent kind messages to the force. Officers have worked through the night to begin identifying those involved in these horrendous scenes. Please be assured, if you were there, we will find you, and you will be held accountable for your part in yesterday's violence. To our local communities, and particularly in Manvers, yesterday was a dark day, and we know this was felt across our county. Our priority will always be public safety, and you will see an increase of officers across South Yorkshire over the coming weeks. Finally, we will be sharing a link for anyone with footage from yesterday that they wish to share with us. Alternatively, you can report any information anonymously via Crime Stoppers. Thank you.
Do you think you were caught out by the scale of the violence?